start the event.
All I know is I can hear my family in the background. Hello, everybody. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the BooMCAST yet again. Technical issues. How good is that?
We'll get there
Um,
eventually. We'll get there eventually.
it's so good. Well, anyway, we are still new, so it is your newest number one Australian source of internet news and gaming.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Sir Deezy, as per usual, and I am welcomed by Aaron. Just the two of us again. How's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, just kind of hearing my family in the background, even though I told them to shut up.
Shh.
Anyway.
Family, be quiet.
Mm. But anyway, to those of you at home, this is obviously a show where we and the panel recap the biggest and best, most interesting news from the internet and do our discussing and opinionating and such. We've got a few stories to talk about this week in general, really. But before we get into the thick of things, for those of you watching this stream at home or on YouTube later on, let's properly introduce ourselves. Excuse me. So, Aaron, take it away here. What's going on?
Um, okay, I am Aaron from Emery, game-based gaming technology, culture, kind of whatever we website, www. Which I Yeah, just been doing a lot of streaming lately, and do a weekly podcast. Been trying to write a few reviews, and yeah, just really get the informational goodness out there, I guess you could say.
Cool, cool. Informational goodness. It's
Yeah,
always good.
absolutely.
Um,
You can have that one for free.
um, so yeah, I guess that leaves me. Well, we haven't really had many other guests, so I'm not really used to, um, talking about myself so early on in the episode. But yeah, I guess I'm Blake. It's so easy as you know. I have a massive headache right now, so I might be a little bit glazed over at the moment, as you could probably tell. Um, I do whatever the hell I do, really. It's not consistent. It's not funny. It's just
Some
stupid
of it's
shit.
pretty funny.
Well,
That
have you seen the cookie face face?
Absolutely. I was just about to say that cookie face video is pure gold.
That's why it's the cover video on my page. But yeah, it isn't too bad. But definitely check out that if you do want a quick laugh. But other than that, I dabble in some games. This week in particular, I've been playing some Minecraft. A lot of Minecraft, actually, on your channel, on your stream server. Right. English.
Wow, that headache's really taking its toll, isn't it, Blake?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's thumping. But yeah, Minecraft doing a big build. We're apparently making a city, which I had no idea I was doing. I thought we were just building a little fort,
And
but
that's not me
apparently
deciding
not.
that, by the way,
No,
viewers,
no.
listeners, whoever's around. No, that's all Blake's friend. Nothing to
Oh,
do with
Blake's
me.
friend. Blake's. Um,
Blake's person that is helping
yeah.
him film.
Anyway,
Hopefully he's not watching.
hopefully, no, I don't think he is. He's too much of a prick to watch this show. Um, But anyway, so other than that, I actually do want to say today, inspired by Aaron over here, I actually am getting into the Twitch and streaming scene.
Oh, very nice.
So I have had already a Twitch channel, but today I kind of started it up again and uploaded the first video that I've ever done onto that channel. So if you do want to have a look, definitely check it out. Give it a follow if you do want to.
Nice.
Um, it's not the greatest video because it does dip in quality in terms of video footage, but
Yeah, Twitch
you
has a
know,
habit of doing that sometimes, I think. I think it's probably less Twitch's fault and more the shittiness of Australian internet, but yeah.
God damn you, Google Fiber only in certain places. Anyway,
I wish it was
um,
Google Fiber.
I wish, I wish. Anyway, yeah, so that's basically what I do. But
Nice.
yeah, if you do want to have a look, all of the links will be in the description down below for all of our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch channels everywhere. So definitely go subscribe and like and dislike them all. Yeah.
Well,
So
you can dislike Blake's stuff. That's fine.
you can, yeah, please. I need it.
Needs a good kick up the ass.
Yeah. Just before we do kick off things with the news, though, mentioning all our Facebook and social pages, I do want to mention the BooMCAST Facebook page, which you should totally check out and like. We will actually be posting in regards to links to the stream, any delays, news, anything in particular on the latest episodes. So that link is also in the description below. But with that being said, let's kick off the news.
Nice.
All right. So the first thing on our list is actually more directed at us because Twitch has kind of banned unlicensed music. Have you heard about this?
Well, see, I thought it was all to do with Google, and YouTube buying Twitch, and it wasn't. We heard about the sale, or the offer that they were putting together a couple of months ago, and I think we talked about that in one of our first podcasts. And I don't know if the sale has actually gone completely through, but they've closed down Justin TV, which was like the original streaming website that Twitch kind of evolved out of. So they've closed down Justin TV. They've implemented this copyright. It's supposedly just for music, but I wouldn't be surprised if they extend it open to, I don't know, like visuals eventually as well, which will be a real kicker because as it stands, everyone on there is streaming game footage, and I myself have had countless issues with YouTube picking up the background music in a cutscene of a video game, and striking that as a copyright claim. And I can't help that they use that music in the background of the cutscene. Like that's not something that's not my fault. I can't control that. Whilst the game has licensing that says yes, I can make gameplay videos and post them to YouTube and monetize and all that sort of stuff, it has nothing to do with the music. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that, the license for them to use the music in the game, completely different from a license for me to record that and then post it on the internet. So, yeah, it really becomes this murky waters of just legal crap. And it sucks that that's one of the first things they implement. And supposedly now, today, actually, due to the backlash from the community, which is really all Twitch has. I mean, if they piss off that community and the community decides to go somewhere else, which there is plenty of other streaming platforms, then, Twitch is dead in the water and Google's just paid $1 bazillion for something that, one of their changes has implemented the community to go elsewhere. So, they listen to the community and they put in the ability for people to then like challenge or kind of put their hand up and say, whilst this has been flagged, I think that I have fair whatever. So that's pretty good. But and then they implemented a very YouTube-esque video management for the creation of highlights and exporting to YouTube. One thing I did notice, which is kind of a sidebar, and sorry, I'm completely ruling over the stuff at the moment, but is that the upload to YouTube is almost instantaneous. Like it is super quick.
Really?
It's still super slow processing the video, but whereas before I would do like a 20 to 30 minute video I'd hit export to YouTube, type in all the stuff, and hit go. It would take about half an hour to an hour for that just to hit YouTube, and then it would still have to process after that. But now you hit export to YouTube, and within like 2 minutes you get an email or video been successfully uploaded to YouTube, and then it still takes the same amount of time to process. But yeah, so which is
That's
crazy.
an improvement. That's pretty awesome.
It's cool, and they've also changed the way you create highlights as well. Don't know if before you were able to easily create multiple highlights from one broadcast, whereas now you go through the creation of highlights and then you can create another off that same broadcast. Super simple right there. So yeah, it's pretty cool that they've implemented those things, but yeah, it is a little bit of a slap in the face with the copyright stuff.
Definitely. I completely understand with that. I mean, what I was going to basically say is the fact that since last week we were actually talking about this. We were talking about the sale itself, because we had a lot of new... Oh, your mic.
Oh, sorry.
That's all good. Yeah, so we were talking about the sale itself, and I'm pretty sure last week I was saying something about, like, okay, shit, now that Google has Twitch, we're screwed. Again,
I do recall that, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the way I view it personally, I kind of see it like... Okay, let's start with Twitch first off, starting that partnership with Audible Magic to crack down on unlicensed music.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just like YouTube. It's basically a system that scans all video broadcasts.
Yep.
I will say as well, by the way, just so you guys know, they do it in 30-minute chunks. So if any unlicensed music is found, the whole video is muted and audio control is completely turned off. So I'm not sure exactly how the 30-minute chunks work, but like, can you get around that at all?
I'm not sure. Not that I know of. Because I also believe that it's random from where it starts. So it doesn't start at 0 and scan 30 minutes. It might start at 5 minutes in and then scan 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure exactly how that works.
Either way, the fact that they've got that bot that is scanning all of these videos, there's parts that, like, I mean, exactly what you were mentioning before. If a game is playing the song, it's not really our fault, you know. Like it. I don't. Anyway, it's just the fact that it's not very reliable, I guess.
Yeah. And
I will say,
we don't really have any way to, we don't really have any way to. I mean, other than like some of those channels and streams that have, like music just playing in the background, like they have SoundCloud playlist, or I know some people have more extravagant things where people can, choose what's playing next and have polls and all this sort of stuff. Other than, those sort of guys who have control over what's playing in the background, there's nothing that we can do. Like if, for instance, the GTA songs, all of those licensed songs, most of them at least.
Yeah.
And, if you get hit by a copyright thing for putting up a GTA Let's Play or stream on Twitch, then, what are you going to do? You have to completely... And if that's the basis of your channel is GTA Let's Plays, and, you just have to turn off the music straight away as soon as you get into any car, because the radio stations don't stay the same, so you can't just put it on even one of the talk show radio stations so that that you're not going to be hit by that copyright thing. Like, you get into a different car and the radio's just on whatever it is. So yeah, it's just, I think it's a little bit over the top. And whilst I understand that the music industry is getting hit pretty hard by like piracy and copyright infringement, I just think that they're going a little bit too far with this. It's like, just to branch off slightly, and I don't think we talked about this before the podcast, Blake, but in the States there's a particular GameStop that is asking people for their fingerprints when they trade in games, because in that area they have a lot of issues with people pawning stolen goods. So the pawn shops take the fingerprints so that if something turns up as stolen, they can say, well, here's the fingerprints. Because you can give a fake name and technically get a fake driver's license or whatever, but you can't fake your fingerprint. So, you know, that's one way they're cracking down on that. But the GameStop is kind of taking it, I at least think it's taking it too far by, you know, asking for people's fingerprints when they trade in a game. Like, that's just so over the top and completely, whilst the laws are in place, that doesn't mean they have to. It's not a requirement for them to, you know, receive a traded in game. And I think it's the same thing here on Twitch. They've had no real issues across the 4 or 5 years that it's been up, or whatever it is. It may not have been that long, it might be longer, I don't know. But, you know, I just think to now implement it almost as soon as they're bought out by YouTube is just, yeah, it's really a bit of a writing on the wall, I think, as to what's to come further down the track.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah. Sorry, I'm just listening in the background to all of the arguments that are going on. So I'm really sorry if I'm kind of glazed over at the moment. I kind of do want to go out there and be like, shut up. But I'll do that when we start talking about Assassin's Creed. But anyway.
That was your piece of news, dude.
Yeah, I know, but like, come on. It's distracting.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway,
if it's any consolation, I can't hear it, so I'm not.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that the audience can't either.
Okay. Anyway, I will say as well, just a little bit of news in terms of what actually happens with all of this with Twitch and the whole muting and that process. So first off, there is good news at the fact that it's only live streams. Sorry, not live streams, only recordings right now, so it doesn't affect live streams. So that's kind of a good thing. However, for people like yourself, Aaron, and me, when I do implement all of my Twitch streams, if we do want to take it and put it on YouTube, that's gonna kind of suck. And pretty much a big kick in the nuts. But anyway, the software actually seems to be so strict as well. I think you'll love this, Aaron, but it seems to be so strict that even Twitch, their own weekly broadcast, got flagged and muted. So I'm just saying, it is a little bit overboard.
That is so good. Suck it. See?
Yeah, it's just way too much.
Absolutely.
And the good thing is that not only do Twitch see it, which by the way, they did do an AMA on Reddit this past Monday where they took plenty of feedback.
Yeah.
Not only do Twitch see it, but most of the game producers see it as well. So I can't remember off the top of my head who it was. I'm pretty sure it was Valve. I can't remember for the life of me. But one gaming producer actually put out on Twitch, and they were saying, if you're having any sort of Twitch issues in terms of music, let us know. And they were even saying, if you do want to use this game, let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll get it sorted for you. So
that's cool. That is awesome.
Yeah. So anyway. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I think you covered it all when I was listening.
Kind of get on a rant there. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all good. We love rants here at the BooMCAST. So, what we'll do next is we'll talk about Assassin's Creed Rogue. If you want to take over here, Aaron, I'm going to be right back. I won't say why. Can you put the BRB thing on my screen?
Sure. Well, I'll just quickly. I think he muted himself. That's all right. So, for those not in the know, Assassin's Creed Rogue is the companion game, if you will, to Assassin's Creed Unity. So, Assassin's Creed Unity has been, it was announced at E3, and there's been a lot of talk about it for a while. It was leaked earlier in the year, and it is the next Assassin's Creed title for the next gen or current gen, Xbox One, PS4, PC. It's the next title for Assassin's Creed. It's only going to be on the next gen. It's not going to be on 360 or PlayStation 3. And so far as we know at this point in time, it's not going to be Hey, there he is. He's back. Um,
What up?
you know, I was just talking about Assassin's Creed Unity, and yeah, it's just going to be on the next gen systems. And so there was a lot of rumors about a code-named Assassin's Creed Comet, and then
Okay.
it's actually been released during the week that it is actually named Assassin's Creed Rogue, and it will only be on the 360 and PlayStation 3. So
Yeah.
not even out on PC, which I thought was
Come on.
an interesting
Really?
call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like.
That.
I understand why not putting it across to the next gen ones so that they have something specifically for those older people, and I think it's probably more of a timed exclusive. I think it wouldn't surprise me if after the holidays in like that kind of dead period of January through to March, which isn't becoming such a dead period at the moment. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Um, that they would say, oh, and now you can get Rogue on Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and PC and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's just to give those people who can't move to a next gen console yet something from the Assassin's Creed which is cool. Um,
Can I just say actually though,
yeah,
on
absolutely.
that note though, because I completely understand where you're going with like that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Having said that, from my understanding of what Rogue is going to be and where they're going with it, they're obviously having a clear split between the two. So they've
Oh
got
yeah, absolutely.
this, yeah, they've got this Rogue storyline which is going off in not for spoilers or anything, but it's basically you're the Templars on
Yep.
this side.
Yep.
As well as the fact that what I found very interesting, if you've played Black Flag, which to be honest was probably my favorite Assassin's Creed game, it's heavily involved in the naval, like the
Yeah. Yep.
ships. That's kind of what they're going to go for with Rogue.
Yeah,
So
that's what it looks like.
what I've heard is they're basically going to take these two sections because there's not enough content to put into one game. They're not going to be able to put like all of France and Paris and all of this ocean mass and just merge it into one. So like if you play Black Flag, you'll know that there's hardly any running around. It's
Yeah.
just ships. Um, so that's what they're kind of going to do. So like if that is the case where they're going to make the Rogue series PS3 and Xbox 360, that's gonna suck because, like, personally, I do want to see more naval work, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, I do. I don't know. Like,
Are you a
what do
fan
you
of
think about
the Assassin's Creed like franchise? Have you like played all the games and stuff?
I didn't play one, but number two got me hooked,
Yep.
and then Brotherhood was my favorite up until Black Flag.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I didn't touch number three,
Good
but yeah.
choice.
Yeah, like I didn't like it looked interesting to me,
Yeah.
and then like a week later I heard it was that shit, and I was like, okay, sweet.
See, I'm
You know,
a die-hard Assassin's Creed fan. I loved the first one and I still play it to this day. Like it's my how everyone kind of has that one game that they randomly go back to and just play a couple of levels, and it's more for like nostalgia's sake.
yeah,
That is Assassin's Creed 1 is that game for me, and I think it always will be. Because yeah, it's just I love it, issues and all. Like I understand what people didn't like about it. And I can obviously what people loved about it. But yeah, I just number 3 was a complete and utter disappointment. And then 4 was really good. I'm glad that they brought it back with 4.
yeah.
Um, I'm not a huge fan of the naval stuff. Like that's probably one of the things I love about Assassin's Creed 1 is it's so much about the free running and, literally one of the main mechanics because it was absolutely revolutionary for its time.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
I just love and the mechanics from the first one really hold up. Like I will play it now, and whilst it's probably not as quick as the most recent ones, at least it's like I said, it holds up. So I'm kind of looking forward to that aspect, that Unity looks more like the kind of land-based, almost going back to the old style with like Brotherhood and stuff like that, where there was not really any of this, jumping on horses and gallivanting across ridiculously open spaces, or getting in a ship and, across all this water and stuff like that. Whilst that's really cool and I do like that stuff, I would rather run around on buildings and ridiculous stuff that there is no way that I could do in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just, I guess I really like that aspect of it, and I'm glad that it looks like they're going more back to its roots with Unity, and then they're still continuing on with Rogue in that, like you said, the naval stuff, and just having this whole open space for people to explore.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to, and again, I'm probably in the minority here, I love the present day storyline. Like, I really love the Desmond storyline and the present day of Black Flag. I spent probably not half as much time, but close to half as much time in the present day as I did in the Animus stuff, which, if you played the game, is saying a lot. Like, there's nowhere near that much gameplay there, but, I just love to kind of walk around and see, because they put so much extra stuff in those games that I love to kind of eke it all out. So yeah, I'm really glad that we're getting two. Not only are they every year, but this year we're getting 2 Assassin's Creed games. So it's kind of Christmas coming early for me.
That's another great point there, though. Like, personally, like I understand exactly where you're coming from, because firstly, with the whole bringing it back to its roots, I definitely see Unity doing that. I will say that I kind of don't want it to be like Revelations personally, although I did like Revelations. I kind of played that once and never played it again.
Ooh.
I liked it.
Oh,
I literally have it in my bookshelf here, because I really enjoyed it. It's just, it was the same thing. So I don't know. That's all I'll say on Unity. But yeah, like the thing is with oh god, I've gone blank with all of, what was I talking about?
Rogue.
Rogue? Was I talking about Rogue?
I think you were going to, because you were saying that you were happy to leave all that stuff to Unity, but I'm guessing with Rogue, you're kind of glad to have the...
I am glad to have it all ocean-wise and like naval and stuff like that. I kind of want to see them bring it into next gen, though. Like, I don't understand why they're not. Like, I do see why they're doing it now that you've said that it's kind of like giving the last gen people an option.
Yeah.
But I do want to see them bring it into next gen, because I'm greedy.
And let's be honest, you're a fan of the PC Master Race.
Yes, pretty much. PC Master. What I was going to say, no, this is what I was going to say. Is 2 Assassin's Creed games too much? Because personally, for me, I did like the whole thing that they were doing, where it was yearly. They kind of like the, I don't know, free roaming version of COD. But I don't know, like in Assassin's Creed, the thing is with COD, you can beat that game in 4 hours. With Assassin's Creed, it's like, it gives you bang for your buck. Like, there is so much in just the one game. So I don't know, personally, like for the non-diehard Assassin's Creed fans, I don't think I'm going to be able to even play 2 Assassin's Creed games in that 1 year. I don't think there's enough time for me to do it. So, like, see, I don't know.
You say that, but imagine that you buy Unity, right? Because I'm guessing of the 2, you'll probably buy Unity.
Yeah. Because it's next gen. Like,
exactly.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, and it seems like, whilst I'm sure there will be a lot of story in Rogue, and it'll probably, kind of fill in a few of the blanks sort of thing, I'm guessing that you could probably get away with playing just Unity and not touching Rogue, and you'll still be sweet story-wise. Whereas I think if you just play Rogue and you miss out on Unity, then I think you're going to have a bit of an issue there. But I think the whole idea is that you play Unity, you get your kicks, and then this time next year, when there's no new games for like 4 months or whatever it is in this dry period we have, I think then you'll see either a spike in probably both titles when people get... No, I'd say you'll get a spike in Unity sales at the end of the year when people get, Xbox Ones and PlayStations for Christmas. Then they'll buy Unity or something like that in January or early Feb, that sort of thing. Or you'll have a spike in Rogue sales, I'd say, about this time next year. So, when there's nothing come out and people go, oh yeah, that's right, there was 2 Assassin's Creeds this year. For those people that aren't diehard fans like me, which will obviously get them both the day they come out. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I kind of do hope it is like that. I do hope that I will be able to finish Unity, take my time with it, learn about the story, and then have that urge to go play Unity. Not Unity, Rogue.
Rogue, yeah.
Yeah. But we can only hope. So next topic, did you want to talk about Square Enix?
Yeah. So speaking of like big developers and kind of tying in with the legal stuff before as well. So, and I should have looked this up, and I'm kind of kicking myself now because I thought I could remember their name, but it's gone. So there's a game publisher that does like kind of like hero fighting. I think it's reminiscent of either like Street Fighter or Super Smash Bros, something like that. It's a Japanese-based games company, and they have been having a bit of a dispute with Square Enix, where Square Enix actually has released a manga. So it's not even actually a game, but it's about a teenage girl gamer. So, gaming characters pop up in it. And they've actually been using, pretty much blatantly straight out, been using this other company's characters. And the other company has been hitting up Square Enix saying, you've got to stop doing this, where we don't want it in there, or like they haven't been paying them compensation or something like that. So they've basically been breaching the copyright of this other company. So it's gotten to a point where the other company has had to file a legal suit against Square Enix, but it's resulted in the Tokyo police raiding the Square Enix offices, which is something you don't hear about in, like gaming litigation. It's usually all, because it's all, for want of a better word, paperwork, crimes. That's the word I'm looking for. Because it's all about intellectual property and all this sort of stuff. It's usually not, one other company. It's not actual,
It's not like door kickers, like they come in.
Yeah, so I just found it like crazy that, it's come to this. And I think I was listening to another podcast during the week, and I think they put it best that it's probably been filed under a different type of lawsuit. Usually it's, like a civil lawsuit. So they go into court, the lawyers have at each other, and then whoever comes out on top pays a ridiculous sum of money to whoever else. Or it's, all done in closed rooms somewhere, and it's all very hush-hush. But I think what the other group has done is filed a criminal lawsuit. Hence, the police have to get involved and seize evidence, because then, they have to build a case and all this sort of stuff. And that's why these cops have been kicking down the Square Enix door, for want of a better word. Yeah, I just thought that was a random piece of news that, like, you hear about, lawsuits and all this sort of stuff in the, big gaming circles all the time, but, to hear about police actually raiding a publisher's offices is just, it's crazy.
They go in, like, they flashbang the hostage for no apparent reason.
Can you imagine
saying, Aaron,
all the developers and stuff just sitting there going...
Take him to the rescue area, whatever it is.
All they have to do is actually just turn on a flashlight and just throw it in there, and they're like, the light!
That would be me.
It
that
burns.
would definitely be me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, me too.
Oh shit, that is intense. Like the whole fact that they're bringing in the cops for
Yeah,
that, and no less that was in Tokyo, Japan
yeah, yeah,
as well. That wow, okay, I wouldn't expect it.
yeah. It's
Um, yeah, wow, okay. Well, moving on to the next one because personally, I don't have any other points on that.
yeah,
I mean, that's just a very interesting story, quite
yeah.
frankly.
I
But
think that's
yeah, thank you, Aaron. So did you want to talk about the October
yeah. So
releases?
we were talking a little bit before about that lull spot, and October seems to be the it month in 2014, or at least it was. It pretty much every man and his dog was trying to release their game in October, and I know a lot of people were excited about Evolve, which, for those who don't know, it's kind of like it's kind of like a boss battle. It's a boss battle game, pretty much. It's getting that idea of the boss battle and making it the center of the game mechanic.
Right. When you say that, do you mean like that Tyson game that I can't remember right now? I'll bring it up.
Attack on Titan? Are you talking about
No, the video game.
well, there was a
Oh, there it was. Okay. Well, no, I'm talking about. I'll look it up and
okay. Well,
yeah.
so what it is it's pretty much just 4-on-1. So it's you're a normal like squad of 4 human people, and then the other person is this ridiculous gigantic monster that has like a shit ton of health, and it's kind of just hiding somewhere on the map. And then the I think the idea of it to begin with is that the monster tries to hide for as long as it can on a larger map, and then once the squad of 4 people finds it, it's kind of contained within a smaller area on the map. It's still a decent sized area, but it's like a cordoned off little smaller area once they find it. And then the idea is for the squad to work together as much as they can to take down the larger monster, and then the monster is pretty much just trying to kill off the squad members one at a time, because unless they're all there, then you kind of don't have a hope of beating it. So,
So
very unique idea and kind of cool. But
two things. Firstly, sorry, I think I missed this, but did you say that the monster is an actual person or is it just
yeah,
an NPC?
no, I think it can be both. So I think you can
Okay.
have like AI controlled monsters, but also
Right.
you can have a person controlling the monster.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
The second thing is the game with Shadow of the Colossus that I couldn't remember
Ah,
because that's a
okay.
very good boss battle simulator,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
will. But yeah, that's the first thing that I thought of when you said boss battle game.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
it is a bit like that actually.
okay, cool, cool.
Sorry. So yeah, anyway, moral of the story is that point rather, um is that Evolve has been moved from that busy October month back to February. Now, they're saying it's been delayed, kind of the buzzword in the gaming industry, so that they can work on the game, and which may be all well and good, but it seems that everybody's trying to get out of this October month now. Like, Shadow of Mordor moved up a week, which is, I don't know about you, but I've never heard of a game coming out early.
Coming up, yeah,
Yeah. Even though it
definitely
is
not.
just a week, like, usually you hear about these games that are literally like they're down to the wire. Like, it only goes gold like a couple of days. Not goes gold, but it's like just released on time.
Yeah,
You never hear about a game being released early. So I just thought it was crazy that, everyone's jumping out of this October month. And I'm wondering if it's less that they actually had to work on the game, and but I'm off two minds here, because all the E3 demos and people that I've heard talk about it from when they were playing at E3 said it was awesome. It looked like it was ready to be released. It was
yeah,
kind of flawless. Everybody raved about it. And then now supposedly they have an alpha on PC at the moment, and everybody's saying that there's heaps of bugs and blah blah blah. So maybe they do actually need time, but I'm also a bit skeptical.
yeah.
So
I'll give you a few points here. First off, it's Assassin's Creed, Aaron. You'll love it. Second off, um, you know what? Like the only couple when I worked at Game, the couple of games that I did notice came out, before the actual release. This is a bad omen here, but it was all the bad games. So like Duke, that came out a couple of days before the actual release. I'm pretty sure another one was Brink as well.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that doesn't sound very good to me. If they're moving it up a week, if it follows that trend, I'm hoping it doesn't. Um, However, the way I see it is maybe they do think it is, good enough. It's ready for release. Maybe they just want to release it as soon as possible. Maybe there's a clash with another big game coming out around that time, and they want to
Yeah.
get it, in front of them.
Well, I think that's the
So
thing. They just want to get out of that October month. Like
yeah,
I don't see that the Shadow of Mordor has. Yeah, I don't think it would have issues. I'm not super au fait with the actual gameplay and how it's going to work. I know it's very kind of WoW-esque that you have one dude rather than like switching between all the different guys, but it's more like you're this one guy and it's how you tailor the dude rather than actually being able to choose like a class or any of that sort of thing. So yeah, it should be a good game, but I've just never heard of a game coming up early, and I do think it's probably more just so that they could get out of that crowded October. But I mean, Battlefield
right.
Hardline has been pushed back, Evolve has been pushed back. I believe Batman Arkham Knight was supposed to come out then, and that's been pushed back as well. So yeah,
Jesus.
October was looking super full, and then now it's kind of looking pretty empty.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's another big kick in the nuts to us gamers because October, November time, that's really the time where we get our big games. So okay, that's different. Um, anyway, what I will mention, if that was all you wanted to talk about in terms of the games, sorry, Aaron, you're a little quiet, by the way. But Guardians of the Galaxy, we did talk about it last week. Now, we had pretty much the same opinion of it, I feel. Um, I went and watched it a couple of days after the stream, and I have to say, I've got an opinion on it definitely. So did you want to say anything before I get into this little quick review, if you will?
Like I haven't put in it, but I've heard really good things. I don't think I've heard a bad thing about it yet. I don't know if you're going to break that streak, but everyone seems to be raving about it. I know it made a shit ton of money in its opening weekend,
Yes.
so
What was it like 94?
94 million, yeah, in its opening weekend.
Jeez.
It's the highest August opening ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Well, I've got a couple of notes here that I do want to bring up with Guardians of the Galaxy. So, set your timers. I'm going to be talking for a little while.
Can I
Um,
just quickly
yeah, yeah.
ask, do you know anything about the comic book backstory? Like, are you a comic book guy? Do you know, like, was seeing Guardians of the Galaxy your first interaction with the Guardians of the Galaxy, or do you know a bit of the backstory?
It was my first interaction
Okay,
with it.
yeah,
So,
because that'll be mine. I'll be the same. Like, I don't know
yeah,
anything about the backstory. Okay,
yeah. I
right,
mean,
this will
I'll
be.
say though, now I do know more about it. Anyway, so I want to start off firstly by saying, though, before I get into anything, whether I praise this movie or I absolutely hate on it, before you guys hear my opinion, I would actually suggest that you do watch it. Um, Not because it's really because it's a type of movie that you have to have an opinion for yourself.
Hmm.
Like it's not really. Let's say I say it's amazing. I mean, I bet most of you would actually argue, well, it's got a talking raccoon in it. It looks stupid. So, like personally, I would suggest to actually just watch it, see what you think of it, and then come away with what you've got. But anyway, now that I've mentioned it, Personally, I'm not a big superhero fan. I'm not really into that genre. I'm not really into Marvel in general. I did like Avengers, but like my favorite superhero was probably Iron Man at that point, and that's purely because he is freaking awesome in those movies. Robert Downey Jr. is more so the person that I like. It's not really Iron Man, it's Robert Downey Jr. Um, but I have to say, really, move over Iron Man. Star-Lord was friggin' awesome, dude. Like, seriously.
That's good to
Seriously.
hear. That's really good to
No,
hear.
I'm serious because like the main character, the best thing about this movie is the likability of the characters, in particular the main character himself. Now, I would be very surprised to hear if anyone really didn't like the character or didn't like him within the first 5 minutes, because I like the first 5 minutes of his introduction, I was like, holy shit, you're the best. I freaking love you. Um, yeah, I mean, just not only that though, it's kind of the whole Guardians, like the whole team.
The
They're
cast,
all
yeah.
very, yeah, the cast itself is just very likable. I'll say that Groot, who is that big tree who just literally says, I am Groot.
Yep.
That's the only 3 words he can say. He was the crowd favorite. So, like you would have people cheering in the cinemas for these characters. It was really like you liked them.
Yeah.
Um, I'll say as well, just in terms of character likability, the one character that I was really worried about, it wasn't the raccoon, it was actually Drax the Destroyer. Now, the reason I didn't like have high hopes for him, I was actually quite worried, was because it's played by Dave Bautista. Now, for those of you who don't know, Dave Bautista is a WWE wrestler or was a wrestler.
But
Um,
can I just add a caveat? So was
yeah,
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
exactly. I mean, yeah, I mean, they are doing really well, to be honest,
Yeah.
because frankly, he did a very good job as Drax the Destroyer. Firstly, if you like, the minute I came home, I looked it up. He does look like Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah,
Like it's spot
absolutely.
on.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, by the way. All of the characters, they're portrayed very well. Like the main character, he's spot on.
Yeah.
Thanos or whatever his name is, spot on. Um, but yeah, like it's just the fact that I guess I being into wrestling as a kid, watching him like I basically grew up watching him. I hated him in wrestling as well, I will say. Um, so I was kind of worried that he'd ruin my perception of the character, but to be honest, he did a great job. The makeup, costumes, they were great. The animation was probably my favorite thing about the movie. So to be honest, the only real animated part that actually irritated me was the bit where Groot is screaming, I am Groot, but he says it like his mouth isn't synced properly. That's the only thing I didn't
Oh.
like about it. That's the only fault I can fault this movie. um,
I mean, if
yeah,
that's
like
your only fault with the movie, then they've done pretty
yeah,
well.
they've done pretty well. Like to be honest, like that's exactly what I was saying. When you said you haven't heard a bad thing about it, literally that's the only bad thing I can give.
Hmm.
I can give you. I won't say that it's a great movie, because it's really not. Like it doesn't really excel in certain bits, but as I said, it doesn't have many faults that I can be like, well, it's a shit movie because of this.
Yeah. And
It's
correct
yeah,
me if I'm wrong, but it is just like the kind of the first part as well, isn't it?
yeah. Well,
Is
the second movie is already announced. Like they have
yeah,
a
yeah,
release date
yeah,
for the movie, so it is the first part.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know what else I can really say about this because not only were the main characters likable, the bad guys were likable. As I said, Thanos looked amazing, and I actually really enjoyed him as well. Like he was in the movie maybe a couple of times, and he was great every single time he appeared. So, I mean, I don't want to talk about too much because I don't want to spoil the movie, but seriously, great movie. It knows when to be funny, it knows when to be serious. Just go watch it. Seriously, it's worth it.
Okay, you've
Um,
sold me. I will.
sweet. Sweet. But yeah, I mean, the fact that they've already got the second one announced, the fact that they've got so much in the first weekend, was it 94 million? Like,
Yeah.
it's just incredible. I think I'm breaking up a little bit, by the way.
No, no, you seem to be all right.
Uh, okay. Well, either I am or you am. So, you am, you are. Wow.
Super good English, Blake.
Super, yeah.
Like Yoda, you speak.
Okay. But yeah, I mean that's really all I want to say about it. But definitely go watch it. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about this week? Because it's sorry guys, it's kind of a short episode.
We've been going for 50 minutes.
Short episode.
Shortish. No, that's pretty much about it, really. Yeah, I've got to move house. That's about it.
Yay.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay, you've gone all unfocused. Hey, there he is. Yeah. No. Our landlord is selling the house that we're leasing, so we've had to get a new house. Thankfully, we've been able to get one, but that means we've got to pack up all our stuff. And as you can see behind me, in just this one room, plenty of stuff. So yeah,
Stuffs.
that'll be what I'll be doing. It'll be interesting to see next week if
Yeah.
I'll just be sitting on a pile of boxes. I'll just be in a box fort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just on the street, like by the next
Yeah,
homeless
exactly.
person, that would be great.
Just hooked directly into someone's pit, like not actually going through a modem or anything.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens next week. Actually, so that's basically Aaron saying possibly we'll be here.
Maybe.
But
See how we
will be
go.
having a couple of guests next week, though, for sure. So,
Oh, nice. That'd be good.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
will definitely try and make. If I can, I'll be
Okay. It's all good, Aaron.
here.
Okay.
Yes, we
well,
do need to get guests back on the show. We are supposed to
Yeah.
have a guest pretty much every week. It's just that things have been a bit hectic on both mine and Blake's end, I think. So
definitely.
yeah, it's been a little bit hard to peg people down, and then we don't want to say, yeah, come on, it'll be all good, and then have us both kind of go, well, actually, sorry.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
that would kind of suck.
yeah.
But anyway, guys, I guess we'll leave it there for now. Thanks to the panel, i.e., me and you, Aaron. As per usual, be sure to subscribe to us as well. For updates and social networking with our fans, please follow us on Twitter at DZ Tweets and Aaron at the Gamery. Aaron, that is an amazing dance move you're doing there. Also, be sure to check
Breaking it
out
down.
Gamery.com for more great podcasts and gameplay.
Yep. And hit us both up on Twitch. I am
Yes.
Gamery Aaron, and Blake is
DZ123 because there was no other name available. Alrighty, well, I guess that's it for this week. Thanks for everybody for joining in and watching the show. We'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.
in a moment or so when I button.
Good night, everyone.
And
Aaron?
one last time.
Good night.